Hello students, welcome back to my channel Ask Task, where I will be discussing on the various topics related to the goods and service taxation for Bangalore University BCom and BBA students. So today we will be glancing over unit 2 of goods and service taxation. So before that, let me tell you, people who have not watched my video on the important topics under unit 1 of goods and services taxation can go back, check out, and then we can go further with unit 2. So let's not delay, let's get started with unit 2. Firstly, this is all about the definition under GST and supply under GST. So before getting started, let me remind that all these important concepts that I'll be telling you is on the basis of the previous question paper analysis and the current model question paper analysis set up by Bangalore University. So I suggest not to rely only on this, but you can definitely rely first on whatever we are going to look into the videos, right? So first will be the definitions. Very important. For 2 marks you can expect 2 questions maximum from this unit, wherein because they have a lot of questions to ask for 2 marks in this chapter. For example, the services, what is the definition of goods, and business vertical, and consideration, your aggregate turnover. These are all the small topics which can ask for 2 marks. See the wordings which I have given in bold, you can concentrate first on those, because those are all the repeated questions in 2 to 3 question papers. They will ask you what is business vertical. So first write the definition, and you can give example what is business vertical. Please let me know if you want me to explain about the business vertical in my next video. And also coming to the exempted supply, which is again a very important topic, because one definite question will be there related to the exempted supply, either for 5 marks or for the 15 marks, where they will ask you to write a short note. So just seeing the different pattern from the previous question paper in 15 marks, that is section C, they will be asking a short note where they'll give you different concepts from different units and they'll ask you to write a brief on it. So more probable a question what they've asked is about the exempted supply or the non-taxable supply or the zero rated supply. So these are all have its own meaning. It's not same, it looks similar, but the definitions and the explanation what you get under GST is totally different. So just go through what is exempted supply, non-taxable, and zero rated supply. You'll understand this concept better when you look into the examples, when you go through the different examples of what goods come under exempted supply, what are non-taxable, and what are zero rated supply. So try to learn as much as examples so that it will be easy for you to write in your exam. Then comes your schedule 1, 2 and 3 of GST Act, wherein it will tell you about the supply with consideration, without consideration, and also the zero rated supplies. So this is again a very important question which can be asked for section B and section C, because section C, if they ask, they will ask you the entire schedules of GST, and it's very easy to understand. Just try to understand what they've told in schedule 1, and just try to understand what they've told in schedule 2, what are the inclusions and what are the exclusions in schedule 1, 2 and 3. I don't think it will be difficult for you if you go with the sequence. If you understand unit 1 and 2 properly along with the definition, I think schedule 1 to 3 will be easier to understand. So just look into these area. Next is your classification of rates. So very rarely they've asked this classification of rates under GST, because it is important that you know the GST rates with full rates which is given by GST, like 2% or 12% and 20% from the lowest to the highest rates of GST. So why? Because they can ask you to write a short note again right? But don't spend much of time in understanding the classification rate under GST, also under composition scheme. So these are two different policies or the schemes by GST, wherein if you adopt the regular scheme of GST, you have a different set of rate, or if you adopt a composition scheme, then you have a different set of rates and provisions. So my suggestion is to first study the composition scheme, because the class rate under GST is normal, it can be written in general, but when it comes to composition scheme, you have to understand what is composition scheme, who can opt for it, what are the different provisions for it, and what are the different rates, and why have they implemented this composition scheme, or why the option is given to the registered person. So this is what you have to understand if you want to score. Then coming to the supply with consideration and without consideration, again very less questions have been asked related to the consideration and without consideration of supply, but I suggest you to just go through it, not to spend much of time. And the main important part here will be on the problems of transaction value. So transaction value problems, again you have to study the format, only then it is easy for every student to understand how to solve the questions of transaction value, which will definitely not be difficult for a BCom student, but for BBA student, let me tell you, transaction problems from the previous question papers, if you see, they have asked very simple problems, wherein for the BCom students, they have also, they say there is no indirect questions which can be asked in transaction value. It's always a direct question. Your direct question in the sense, they'll give you certain cost, they'll give you certain expenses related to the cost, the purchases, they'll give you the selling price. So direct questions are there, only you have to understand which expenses will be added or deducted where, right? So this is for both. Try to understand the format intact. Let me know if you also want the transaction value format and problems to be solved in an easier manner. I can do that in my next video. Just comment below. And that's very, very important, because in section B and section C you can expect the transaction value problems for sure. So you cannot lose marks in section B and C for transaction value, because this will be very simple problems. So you can score there, you can score full marks. Instead of attending the theory under section B and C, you can go with the practicals. So definitely a separate video will come, wherein to make you understand how to solve the question paper, right? So in my upcoming videos, so just wait for it. Then comes to the marks allotted. Definitely again section A, B and C, from unit 2 you can expect maximum two questions for section A, because I said there are a lot of questions which can be framed from unit 2, so you can expect section A. Then section B, very few questions can be asked from unit 2. So I definitely suggest you people to concentrate on theory aspect under unit 2 at the end, right? Not to put so much of effort in studying the theory for 6 marks under section B. And last one will be section C. Definitely one question or two questions, one theory and one practical, that is transaction value, definitely you can expect. But theory chances are very less, because you have other units from where the questions can be asked, more important than unit 2. So concentrate more on the transaction value for section C, that is the problems. So total marks what you can expect from this unit will be 15 plus, or you can expect maximum 20 marks, but according to me this time they will only up to 15 marks you can expect from unit 2 or less than that. Again, books to refer will be the Vision Book House and the V.S. Started Taxman, the recent editions. Why? Because again, these are all the books where you can rely upon, and the data which can be relied upon, where the outdated syllabus are removed in the recent editions. If you understand, I mean, if you go to the previous editions, there are a lot of syllabus concepts which are already removed from GST. So my suggestion is to definitely go with the recent additions. So that was all for unit 2, and all the best.